ski mask on, goggles, hood, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool, just go up and down, right? And they said, no, you'll be up there for 8 hours. 8 hours of marching up, and then it's just flat, plateau. And it's just like, with COVID. So anyway, it got to the end of that day, and like, you just assume that there will be a lovely heated place to stay. Absolutely not. Like log cabin, but freezing log cabin. Like, you barely take your clothes off to eat. Like you couldn't really eat. Your hands are so cold.
My God.
Yeah, no, it sucked. A lot of people pulled out on the first day. A lot of people didn't make it to the end of the first day. And then I asked the doctor to come and just check because I could barely breathe at the time. And they
said you had COVID.
No, they said that, you have some infection and blah, blah, blah. So they gave me some, they didn't test me for COVID. And they gave me, because I think they know that if you test positive, then it's the end of the race, and it will bother everyone, right? So they're kind of at this stage brushing it under the rug, I suppose. And then I had some antibiotics, did the second day. That was pretty painful as well, and got to the end of the second day and they tested me for COVID and it just flagged up as COVID, bam. And they were like, your race is over. And I was like, oh no.
Oh no, I have to go home.
No. And they were like, what did they say? I was like, can I have a separate start time? Because I'd done 3 days. I'd done the first 3 days and there was like 2 days left. And I was just like,
I can do this now.
I could easily do it. You've done all the elevations, so it's just flat for the last 2 days. I felt like shit, but I could have done it.
You always say to me, if someone paid me, I'd never do that again. But do you know what's interesting? Okay, so you do all these challenges. And the thing that I'm most excited for you this year, I just can't wait. I honestly can't wait. A lot of people may or may not know this, is Spen's brother, Michael, died descending Everest in 2001? No,
99.
99.
Yeah. Coming down from the summit. He was the youngest Brit to reach the summit at the time.
You make a documentary with Disney Plus. I'm honestly so excited. I haven't seen it. I don't know anything.
Well, if you're well behaved, you can come to the screening.
Okay. What gives you, what scares you? What gives you joy in life? And what do you want to be like remembered for?
Crikey.
Quite cheesy little things right there, but anyway.
What
are you frightened of?
What frightens me? I would have always said failure, but I don't think that now. I think that failure is a really essential part of growth. I think you learn the most out of failure. And I think it's absolutely fine to fail. I think it's far better to pursue, massive dreams and fail than to achieve, ordinary things, in my opinion. So I don't know what frightens me. I mean,
I think
I want my, I want my kids to be well brought up. It's difficult to do that.
You're great parents.
No, I know, but you want to just give your kids stuff. You want them to be happy, and I feel, and I'm not trying to be self-righteous here, but I've done plenty of work with like the Michael Matthews Foundation in Africa, and we look after about 5,000 kids, and put them through school and stuff. And those kids are just so happy. They're so happy, like all of the time. There's no misery, like of any kind, and it's unbelievable. And they have nothing, like nothing. And I think it's amazing to see. And then like our kids can be really like whingy if they don't get what they want. And it's kind of very difficult to find a balance, I feel anyway. Maybe I'm not the world's greatest parent, but like I find it hard sometimes to say no to my kids because I want them to have the things that they want, but I don't want them to grow up spoiled, right? So it's kind of like, that worries me, I guess. I'm not kind of frightened of stuff like per se. Like, do you know what I mean? Like nothing really, I don't feel fazed by anything really. Like I don't like.
And if you died tomorrow, what would you want people to go? Oh yeah, him.
The film, I suppose, that nobody's seen. But no, I suppose I think the film is it's not work, right? This is something that we were going to do anyway, and we documented it with Disney, I suppose, because it's a cool story and I want my brother to have a legacy, right? Because my brother was incredibly brave and he was very young, and having been to the mountain, some of the things he must have gone through would have been horrific. at his age, and I want people to understand who he was, right? That's why I was okay to document it. But I wanted to recover him anyway. So that, I suppose, I think that's the greatest thing we've done. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Should look back at that and say, oh my God, like how great was New York? How fun was New York? I nearly took that taxi to the hospital.
Yeah. Can you just tell what happened?
I went missing for a night, basically. and like I got in the cab to come back.
Couldn't find you anywhere.
Can't remember if we were filming or whatever. I borrowed like a charger, like I borrowed the taxi driver's charger, charged my phone, the thing blew up because I'd missed filming or something. And honestly, I think actually thinking about, I've never really thought about this. That was physical stress and anxiety what I was feeling, right? Because I don't feel those things.
I think you're having a panic attack without realizing.
Yeah. Because I'm not an anxious person. I'm not stressed in like ordinary day-to-day life. Like obviously now running.
You are stressed. You just don't feel stressed like other people.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm stressed in the way that a normal person I think might feel stressed. So kind of if I'm going through something ropey with Cleanco or something has to get done, then obviously I feel like it has to get done, right? So, but that's how I associate kind of stress. But that day I was feeling physical, like crippling. I thought I was having a heart attack, right? And I messaged you and I was like, I'm having a heart attack. Yeah. And like, I think I even said to the taxi driver, I was like, can you please just take me to the nearest hospital? Because I thought I was catching it early and that, maybe I'll have the heart attack on the way to the hospital and at least I'll be en route to the hospital. But no, it turns out that we were just like burning the candle at both. We didn't sleep properly.
You arrived back in the apartment. I remember this 1-bedroom apartment that we were living in for 2 months in New York, filming out there. And you came back in and I was like, oh my God, what the hell's happening? And you ran to the fridge and you opened up the fridge and we had a bottle of tequila in there. Yeah. You got the bottle of tequila and downed it and went, feel better now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did. Yeah. No, but it was kind of bad, right?
It was really bad. But I was, listen, it's not a question. We have to understand this, Puggy, as well, is that whatever anyone thinks, Main Chelsea was this like moment in our lives where loads of people watched it. We thought we were young and famous and all these things, which we weren't, but we thought we were.
Yeah, you feel it's like if you were to put a complex on it, it's like a rock star complex.
Yeah,
like you think that you're famous, you think people are watching you, you think that like I'm a rock star, and you're not a fucking rock star.
No one
gives a shit. You're like some fucking kid in New York who has a drinking problem. It's really lame. So it's kind of like, so there's nothing cool about it.
You were drinking loads. I was drinking loads. And also, I was just so impressed with you. Like, if truthfully, this is like our friendship definitely started as that, and I was just so impressed. But I was like, I was almost like in awe of you because you would go out, you'd drink. You would chat to girls. You had this air of confidence I just never seen before. And that's never really left. And that was so amazing about it. But you then started to really not like doing Made in Chelsea and you left. And why did you leave it?
It just felt inauthentic to me. And I think, I was on it for a very long time. So my character had turned, well and truly dark from being the kind of like lovable one with, who am I going to date? Is it going to be, Funda or Kagi? Oh, like what a, and it was all kind of real for me. Like at the beginning, I was dating Funda. I fancied Kagi. It was a problem. Like that was a real life problem that I was having to navigate, like in the show.
Most people wouldn't share that though, but you were happy to share all that.
Yeah, but I wanted the show to be as successful as it could be. I wanted the show to be real. I wanted it it was a reality television show. Like I didn't want to be told what to feel and what to say, right? Which kind of is the case now, I feel. And it's sort of, I remember Funda thinking I was crazy, like when I told her. Like she was like, I literally thought this was for the show. And I was like, it is for the show, but it's real. And we broke up that very second. She was like, right, well, this is over then. And I was like, all right. Like she thought it was a storyline.
Really?
Yeah. She thought it was a storyline. So, and she was great, by the way. Like she was she was the most amazing girlfriend. Like I was just
you're young
and confused and whatever. Yeah. So, but it was real.
And drinking a lot. That's never a good combo.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just felt that, I wanted the show to be authentic. I wanted it to be real. I wanted the problems that people were facing on the show to be real. I wanted the reactions to be real. So that people could really buy into it. And I guess over time, they felt manipulated to me. And, you know, our massive fight was an example of that. Like I felt like that situation was, and we don't need to go into it in great detail, but I felt like that situation was a little bit manipulated.
You can listen to that on Spencer's pod, Big Fish. We talk about it on that. Okay, all these things happen, right? Look, we don't need to go into it, but we know, you know, you go into the jungle, that doesn't work out well. Lots of things that your life is not heading in the right direction. And I remember you like talking to me. You had like £500 in your account, and you're in a pretty bad state.
Yeah.
You're drunk. You're drinking a lot. When is the turning point where you suddenly go, do you know what? Fuck this. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to give it all up. Because that's hard. Because that's changing your whole life. 8 years, 9 years, 10 years.
Yeah. I guess because, you know, my family has got means, I never felt any pressure, I suppose, to go out and make my own life, right? So like I always knew that there would be food on the table, and I always knew there'd be a roof over my head. But those feelings began to make me feel like a real loser, right? When I was watching my dad and what he was building, and my brother and what he was building, and I was, you know, pissed a lot of the time, just not really thinking about my next move, not really understanding how to generate wealth, not really understanding how to put myself in a proper, presentable position in which to succeed. And it began to grate at me that I probably wouldn't have bothered with the mental diet if you told me I wasn't going to be on the cover.
And just one little section in the corner.
Yeah, nearly died actually, like in pursuit of this body. So I treated myself to some carrots one day, which was outside of my planned meals. But honestly, I just couldn't function. I was in the office and like the CleanCo office, and we had like this big call, and I just couldn't think straight because I was so hungry. So I got myself like a tub of carrots. And I just thought, I just don't care anymore. I'm going to eat the carrots. I'm just going to eat all the carrots. And I'm kind of wolfing these carrots down, and I'm kind of like inhaling the carrots because I'm so hungry. And one of the carrots gets they're the little mini kind of orangey, well, of course they're orange, the little kind of stubby carrots. And this thing gets lodged in my windpipe. But like, if you've never choked before properly, like, you know, if you're having like a big piece of steak or whatever, and you're chewing it, and it starts to slide down really slowly, and you think, oh God, like, and there might be like, and you think it might jam, but it doesn't, and it slides down eventually, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll chew my food next time. This was like the opposite. This just slid down and then just went, and I was like, but I actually like, no movement, no air at all. And
like
I knew
Tetris locking in.
I knew it was an enormous problem the second it happened. Like it wasn't a kind of like, oh, this will just clear. Like it literally went click, like in place like a Lego. And I was like pushing up and down, like no movement at all. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, nothing. And I was like, oh my God. And in my head, you're like, okay, if I don't sort this out, I will die. And
Did you think you were going to die?
So I stood up and I'm like, violently banging my chest to try and clear this thing. It's going absolutely nowhere. In fact, it might have got worse. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, like in less than a minute, I will be dead. And my cause of death will be, you know, Tesco's carrot stick or whatever, which, you know, having done some of the things that, you know, I've done, I would have been very disappointed with, like very, very disappointed.
And people, like some people getting upset, weren't they? They didn't know what
some of the girls in the office were like screaming, like, you know, one of them was just crying. I was like fucking thinking, help me, instead of fucking crying. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, what was that going to achieve? Justin, my partner at the time, came up behind me and he's like squeezing me, nothing's happening.
Oh my God.
And that's when I started to think, like, this is a very dangerous situation now that I'm in. And I thought to myself, just in like, but as you've kindly said, it was calm. It certainly wasn't calm. But I thought to myself, right.
You think logical. I wouldn't know what to do.
I thought to myself, I need to wind myself. Like I need air to be forced out of my lungs. Like you know, if Mike Tyson could leather me in the stomach right now, that would be great, right? But like, obviously you can't communicate that to anyone. So I threw myself up in the air and just made a massive effort to land on my back, just really uncomfortably land on my back. And it just shot out of my mouth. And I can remember thinking at the time, like, that was... honestly, when it happened, I was like, I was like, and like, but it must have been in there for like nearly a minute. And I was just like, God, that was savage. And then like eating.
You were thinking of going to the thing to get a knife.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about how to cut like part of my throat to pull it out with my finger. And then I thought, well, that's going to kill me. So let's not do that. No, it was really awkward. And like, I've always thought that like, when people are choking, they can probably breathe a little bit, right? No, zero. Horrid.
Oh my God. But it's funny though, because you've put yourself in like all these situations so much, whether it's marathon dressage or doing the ice marathon, or you're getting crashed in a speedboat and breaking both arms, or crashing a Lamborghini when you're sleeping, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the one thing
shouldn't have been sleeping really.
Should not have been sleeping. But the one thing is a carrot. Okay, so you do the broking, you get offered to do Made in Chelsea, but you have this career, right? Which is where you can be a broker, and you can go and do that, and you can probably earn a lot of money, and it's a city, and it's quite cool, and all these kind of things. Firstly, what did you learn from the city being there? And secondly, then why do you go and do MIC?
The city was nice to learn kind of discipline, I suppose, to like get up and get into the office. Like the hours were crazy. Like I had to be at my desk at 6:30.
You drinking a lot at this point?
Huge amounts.
But like what? Like what's your typical like night out you're doing?
Oh, so okay. I'm not just trying to like make this as clickbaity as possible, but like, you know, when I joined ICAP, there was an initiation at ICAP as well, right? And like the desk heads take you out from different desks every day if you're new. So like a desk head will come and tap you on the shoulder, go on mate, right, we're going out. And like you go out, and basically like when I say that people are heavy drinkers at ICAP, I mean, it's remarkable. So like I probably had 10 pints of Guinness every day for the first month or so. I gained 2.5 stone. I was a mess.
What time are you starting drinking?
11, as soon as the pub would open.
Really?
But then you're back in the office. So like they'd ply you full of 10 pints. I say they, like I was very willing, right? Yeah. So I'd have 10 pints of Guinness to the point where like you are absolutely shit-faced, like sideways, completely sideways. And then they'll be like, right, we'll go back to the office. And this is at like 3 and you've got 2 hours to like, and then they're trying to teach you how to broke and you're just fucking hammered. Like,